We are live from sunny South Central Los Angeles, California. And as always, I'm Mark, and I'm a recovering codependent narcissist. Today, I am grateful for God. God, the universe, the force, Gaia, higher power, larger consciousness system, whatever it is that you want to call it. God is good and God is great. I wanted to talk about how children are truly our future, period. We should really judge our societies on how well we nurture or how well those societies nurture the children of that society. When a society provides love and nurturing for children, those societies thrive, period. I don't know if judge is really the right word since I'm trying not to judge anybody or anyone, but that's at least a good way to see how things are doing, honestly. I recently saw the Mr. Rogers documentary, which was fucking amazing. I hope it wins an Oscar. So good. I cried the entire time. And it inspired me so much. You have no idea, because I really grew up with Mr. Rogers. I loved that dude as a kid. I don't know what all things that he might have incepted into me, but I imagine it's a lot of things, especially after I watched the documentary and I started looking at old programs, old episodes on YouTube. And really what it inspired me to do is start my own Mr. Rogers style, low budget, slow paced puppet show for children. And I'm going to put it on YouTube. I'm moving back into another creative loft space. And I don't know if anyone's ever lived in artist lofts before, but there's so much energy, so much creativity that goes on there that it really, really charges you. It really charges your creative batteries, and it's really great. So I'm really looking forward to moving back in to a creative space, which will allow me, just new creative freedom to create a show like this. I'm going to put it on YouTube, and the show is going to discuss and teach children about love, fear, emotions. Really it's going to discuss kind of difficult subjects that children can understand so they feel nurtured and safe. Subjects that might not always be easy to discuss with children. They might not always be easy to discuss with adults, between adults. But these are the things we should be discussing, honestly. Children are the future. Children are love. Children don't have these ingrained belief systems yet. For them, their entire world is magic. And I know this because I used to be a child. And in many ways, maybe I still am. Maybe I still haven't actually ever had the childhood that I wanted or needed. So I'm going to create some magic myself with my own imagination. Because for me, the entire world is magic as well. Children shouldn't have fears, and if they don't have fear, they don't have an ego. Children only have fears when they grow up in traumatic or abusive living situations. Society should be focused on raising children in the most heart-centered way possible. When that adage, is that a word? When they say it takes a village to raise a child, I mean, that's really true. It's very difficult to change an adult's belief system. Beliefs to adults aren't beliefs, they just are. Beliefs are facts. Beliefs are just how the world works for them. Beliefs are deeply ingrained to adults even though there might be evidence that proves the contrary. I mean, I can tell you that we live in a total immersive virtual reality. I can tell you that all the quantum physics research and experiments are pointing to this. But when I discuss it with most people, they just find it impossible. They find it impossible to understand because of their belief systems. I've discussed this with people and they've just told me no, straight out, which is pretty crazy because they haven't even looked at any of the evidence yet, like I have. And I imagine this is similar to how people discussed or how people had ingrained beliefs about, the world being flat. Sorry, flat earthers, y'all crazy. Or, beliefs about the earth wasn't the center of the universe, or whatever beliefs are discussed. It's very difficult to change an adult's opinion about anything. I mean, look at our political system right now. Children are the future. Children are love. They only stop being love from learned behavior from their caregivers or from society. Children need a safe, non-judgmental environment so they can grow. And we as adults should be providing this type of environment for children. Imagine a future where everything is done by robots. What will the adults be doing? I mean, this is a big question that a lot of futurists are discussing. What are humans going to be doing when everything's fully automated? Most people don't know, but the simple answer is that adults will be raising families. They'll be taking care of children, and they'll be helping other people do the same. The future with robots, actually looks fucking amazing to me. I also believe in the future there won't be wars because the amount of time we spent raising our children and see what joy they bring us and the world. Why are we going to send these children to die for, gold or war or trinkets? It's just not going to be possible. Already, I'd say there's 0% of women that are pro-war because that involves sending babies to die. So already you have like 50% of the human population against war. It's going to be pretty easy in the future to sway the male population and to not going forward with such a ridiculous notion of killing other humans. Especially now that we have this chance to take a giant leap forward as a species. And how do we get there? We get there by working on ourselves. It's pretty easy. It's a lot easier than you think. You don't have to change the world. All you have to do is change yourself. We live in this transition moment, a paradigm shift, a tipping point, tipping point of, I don't know, just human species in general. Just because we've entered this information age, which allows us to share love, throughout the world, we're able to better empathize with human beings in general. Before the internet, before mass communication, you might hear of a war in, Afghanistan or wherever. And to most people, like in 100 years ago, 200 years ago, nobody would care. Oh, there's just, there's a massacre in wherever, Sudan. No one even knows where that is. It's hard to empathize when we can't see these images. But now that we can more empathize with everybody, not just people in our close circle of acquaintances. And I guess the question is, why do you want to work on yourself? Why do you want to spend time in self-improvement? Why do you want to become your theoretical best? And the simple answer again is reincarnation is real, mother lovers. I mean, big religions talk about it. Jesus, I mean, even the Dalai Lama is a dude that is a reincarnated soul in this person's body. And everyone, is all about the Dalai Lama right now. But has anyone asked, how did the Dalai Lama get found? This dude, this consciousness just gets reincarnated into a next body. On top of these figures, there are so many more stories that reinforce the idea of reincarnation. So the more we focus on loving and nurturing children, the more we make Earth more heart-centered, and the better it becomes for our children. Which really means, because reincarnation is real, is the better it becomes for us, because we too will eventually be reincarnated into new avatars back into this reality. So it's really a cyclical thing, love and nurture children, because one day you will be reincarnated back into this earth. And don't you want to show up where this place is a lot more loving and a lot more functional? I know I do. And that's why I'm working on myself, because I want to leave this place better than when I arrived. And because I have awareness around this, and maybe a lot of people don't, I'm going to wave the flag. I'm going to shout from the battlements about this until I die, man. This is going to be one of my purposes, is to be a guiding light for others, because we need more people to think like this, honestly. If you found this message, I just want to tell you that I love you, and that I know the path of being a truth seeker is not the easiest path. There actually is no path. That's why it's difficult. You kind of have to figure this shit out by yourself. That's really what the warrior's path is. And I hope my message of being vulnerable really gives you the courage of being vulnerable yourself and finding your own truth, and speaking it, sharing it, and being a guiding light for others, because we're really here to be of service. So thank you for letting me share, and thank you for letting me be of service.